on Global National.
This is my music.
More girls behaving badly. Police charge 7 teens in a violent swarming as a disturbing trend spreads to another Canadian city.
Welcome.
The Tories used to slam Liberals for pre-election spending sprees.
Perfect.
And now, we do a double take on what looks like a double standard. And talk about a buzzkill.
Let's put a buck a sip. Or you can have it for $15 a cup.
Is a gourmet dose of caffeine.
Style swarming, and they're all girls. The 7 young suspects are accused of beating a young woman in a London, Ontario neighborhood a few weeks ago. And with more on this shocking case, Global National's Mike Drolet is at the scene in London. Mike.
Kevin, it's the ages that hit you right away, 12 to 16 years old, youth in the eyes of the law. Today, 7 girls, a mixture of preteens and teens.
Is currently standing trial for 2 murders connected to Project Care. He is the only person to be charged by the task force, which is investigating the deaths and disappearances of more than 70 people living high-risk lifestyles. And the bodies of a mother and her 2-year-old baby were discovered in a home in Gatineau, Quebec late this afternoon. Friends reported them missing after she hadn't responded to attempts to reach her for 2 weeks. Police are not saying if the deaths are suspicious. Well, the fight for independence has culture squaring off in 2 highly volatile parts of the world tonight. In Serbia, tensions remain high after massive and violent demonstrations in Belgrade yesterday over Kosovo's declaration of independence. And in the Middle East, Turkish tanks and troops crossed into northern Iraq for the first time today. A dramatic escalation of a separate...
Bruin, and a few minutes later, after what appears to be pleasant conversation, the 65-year-old Bruin was shot in the chest and killed. Now, police say the suspect drove away in this white Chevy Cobalt. He drove it all the way to Canada. Just 2 days after the murder, 21-year-old Shepard was arrested in Montreal. For 20 months, Shepard has been in Canada, held in detention. If he's sent home, he'd likely face execution. He's trying to avoid that.
Surprised if a politician is in your neighborhood handing out cash. Another pre-election spending spree is underway. We'll tell you some of the odd places that your money's going. Also ahead tonight...
I've never had a $15 cup of coffee.
Handed over $279,000. In fact, Conservative MPs have been dropping cash across the country. In the past week, they have made 91 separate funding announcements. In New Brunswick, $5,400 for a winter carnival. Montreal, $1.7 million for a circus school. At Quebec Village got $2,700 to celebrate Lent. In Toronto, $2.7 million, some of that money going to Artists for a Better World. And Vancouver cashed in almost $10,000 for a Celtic festival.
This is a government that in the election period last time promised to be different and promised accountability, and yet they're up to the same old tricks.